Tommy Mello is doing this in garage, right? He has a $300 million a year garage business, largely through acquisition because he raised the PE money. And now he's buying all of them and putting them under the A1 name. And now he's leveraging his central power.
Hey, Dennis.
Hey, Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You in Vegas today?
In Vegas today and going to Phoenix tomorrow and Singapore 2 days after.
Nice. What's your favorite part about Singapore?
It is so modern and clean and diverse in a good way, in a non-woke way, because it's the only place. Have you been?
I've never been, but I've talked to some investors and believers out there.
It's the only country that is also a city and an island.
Oh, wow.
And in like 20 miles by 20 square miles, it has 4 national languages, and it's the highest rate of home ownership in the world and the highest rate of education. And it just shows that when they had a leader who ran the thing almost like a dictator, but was a really, really smart leader, Lee Kuan Yew, he was able to do, there was no bureaucracy. He basically passed all the laws where there's no littering and crime is harsh and you have to get educated. And, they didn't have a homeless problem. They didn't have waste going on in the government, which is easier to say when you have a smaller country. But yeah, Singapore is an incredible, some people call it an economic miracle of Asia.
That's what I've heard is it's just like a miracle. And I heard about that, the guy who was like a dictator. Has it gone any downhill since they've made it more?
No, that guy died because he was, old, been in power for a long time. And the new president is almost as good.
But is it still kind of like dictator, like not dictator, but like where they just like, it's not like where everyone gets the choice like in America and it's just like everyone's fighting.
Yeah, they're very efficient. There's none of this there, excuse me,
Yeah.
They don't have that kind of woke nonsense going on over there.
Yeah, in America.
They work hard, they have good values, have families, that kind of thing.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, it's good. Yeah, to finally connect. Man, it's cool to see. The more I look at all the cool stuff, going to Nike and stuff. What kind of projects all do you do with Nike and some of them?
We've had a bunch of projects just here and there. They know us for analytics and technical things because we've done things that they can't do with their internal teams and with big platforms. They first brought us in when they had Omniture, which is now called Adobe Analytics, which is enterprise analytics. And they had something crazy. I want to say we had 40 something data sources. Wow. So we had all the Nike stores, we had Google Analytics, we had Facebook ads. We had, every single Nike athlete, every sports team, every sponsorship across every single social. So every Twitter, Facebook, Quora, YouTube, Instagram, we had thousands of entities. So every time they'd run an Olympics campaign or, a new LeBron James shoe, there is no tool out there that could combine all of those items. And so we built one for them, which then we leveraged for Starbucks and Ashley Furniture and Red Bull and Domino's Pizza and all these other guys.
And you run that through Blitz Metrics, your agency, or which one, or consulting?
Yeah, Blitz Metrics is kind of like an agency, but it's not even that. It's my brand, it's consulting. It's not even a brand. I don't even want to run anything through there because that's basically me, right? But we have teams of people. We have, young adults that are doing amazing things that run agencies in certain spaces. And I just love seeing those guys win. So I think of Blitz as kind of the platform that enables all of these young adults and local business owners to succeed.
Wow, that's beautiful. And so, yeah, it seems like, you really built, and then what you're doing in Asia to get VAs and get people jobs and just even get remote work overseas. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. And then what interested me too, what I wanted to, because we've been getting into more private equity space, looking at roofing. And I know you worked with a Danger, I think, what's his last name? The plumbing one? Rob Dangerfield or something.
Oh, Roger Wakefield. Yeah.
Yeah. Wakefield. And just looking at
the great space. Roll up for PE.
Yeah. Plumbing, roofing, HVAC. And so I've been working with Christian investors who are doing that. And so we recently raised about $7 million more for we actually partnered with a Swiss hedge fund where we're actually able to, out of the interest of, $7 million, and we're going for 50 million. Out of the interest of that, we're keeping the principal. We're only investing down payments out of the interest. And so at first I was looking at some marketing agencies or potential SaaS and different things. And I saw that I think you were on with Dan Henry and just talking about private equity. And because I know, you obviously believe in service-based businesses, especially if you can attach it to good marketing and good, getting better Google reviews, getting more leads and improving their,
Yeah.
rolling
There's a
those out.
model for local. It's not hard, but people don't do it. And the agencies don't do it either.
And then that's what I was wondering about because one of the vision I had was to get some of these like maybe manufacturing or some of these service based businesses, but
Uh-huh.
I wanted to purchase a solid marketing agency
Uh-huh.
that was solid, that was doing 1 to 5 million revenue, where I could buy it 3 times EBITDA for
Right.
10% down and
It
that
might
kind
be
of thing.
easier just to build it. It's, not because
Oh,
you're trying
really?
to save money, but because to have it done right.
Oh,
Because the
okay.
guys who, I mean, I know a bunch of my friends are up at 50, $100 million a year as agencies, and they're out there buying other agencies because of what
Mhm.
you're doing with PE. And if you want to do stuff, particularly in roofing or particular home services, which I advise, then it's actually easier just to build your own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could partner with these other guys because there's an existing client base. If you have some kind of hurry where you need speed to market, then you can do it through acquisition, obviously.
Needing the agency or kind of like you said, like having just those top, I kind of just been building those top, like when I dealt with Martin a couple years ago, like that was like the the list you would never go to,
But,
but like,
but they're all Martins. That's the thing, Eric.
yeah, that's what I'm
It's
noticing.
not that they're bad people. Martin wouldn't think that he's a bad person. He wouldn't
Hmm.
say he's not a Christian, and you and I are not the judge. But
Yeah, yeah.
the majority of these agency owners, Christian or not,
Hmm.
Eric, they actually believe they do good work.
Hmm.
They do, even though you can clearly look at the leads. You can clearly, listen to the call rail. You can clearly see what's going on with the GMB. You can clearly, it's like very easy. It's like you step on the scale. Don't tell me you've lost weight. I mean, clearly I can step, we can look at the
Hmm.
number on the scale. Why are you arguing with the scale? Oh, well,
Yeah.
the gravity's less today than it was. Like, no, it's not. It's just why are you, you know? So unless you know how to operate a digital agency, you cannot acquire an agency with any kind of
Mhm.
credibility. That's what I believe. And
Yeah.
I was a speaker at DealCon 2 weeks ago, which is a conference just on purchasing agencies, acquiring other
Hmm.
agencies. And the room
Hmm.
was full of people. I spoke there, last year. People that want to buy agencies. They want to sell their agency. They want to buy an agency. Like, if you let's say you wanted to, Eric, start a shop to fix, I don't know, Toyota transmissions or something, right? And you've never been a mechanic before. How are you going to know?
Yeah.
Then someone and I tell you, hey, Eric, I'm really good at fixing Toyota transmissions. You have to take my word for it, won't you?
Yeah.
That's the trouble. Like I advise a lot of friends who run agencies who acquire other agencies, and they can
Hmm.
do it because they have an agency and they understand just how agencies operate, how to integrate them. When you buy someone else's agency, usually that owner just wants to take the money. And then
Yeah.
they're so intimately involved, they'll claim that it'll operate without them. They'll claim the clients will stay. I've seen a lot of these things turn into disasters when non-agency owners purchase agencies.
Yeah. I'm sure I've heard about it too, just because yeah, like the agency owner, like for instance, like yeah, like everyone knows Dennis. Hey, I want to work with Dennis. But if someone named Joe Blow buys it, like is like, no, I don't want to work with Joe Blow. I want to work with Dennis. Like it's like it is like that because it's marketing is it's like Russell Brunson, like
Yeah.
I buy ClickFunnels because of Russell Brunson, not because the software is perfect. If someone else, started running it, I'd be like, no, I liked when Russell ran it or something. I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's very, marketing is very, even whether it's Elon or T-Mobile, Legrand running T-Mobile, and now there's a new
Yeah.
guy. It's like,
Yeah.
so yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so, yeah, that's a good. And I think even right now, I'm just really looking at just partnering and kind of just like knowing who the players are, like who are the good people to, like who's the best for. I've been kind of just compiling lists of the best for Facebook ads, the best for
It's
even
hard to
like,
tell. You
yeah,
can't tell looking publicly. You
really,
can't tell. So the people who are the best known are actually terrible.
yeah, that's the hard thing. Yeah.
I know the people who are really good, and a lot of them are not speaking. They're
Hmm.
not out there publicly. They're not, it's not that it's a secret or whatever. They're busy building their businesses. Like my buddy Keegan is specializing in digital marketing for roofing companies, and
Hmm.
there's not much on him. He doesn't share too much,
Yeah.
or Danny for pest control, or, Marco for concrete floors, or, the list goes on in every single category. We know the people who are the best because they actually do great work. But how would you know, unless you actually have run an agency, how to tell if it's good work or not?
Yeah.
I can
That's
go under
true.
the hood and I can instantly tell, right? As a mechanic, I can go under the hood. You can't fool me in the world of digital marketing, right? But Martin fooled you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can make a list of all the Martins out there. I don't think you'll do you any good.
Yeah, this for me right now, I'm just buying an agency or any of that stuff. I mean, I kind of I don't you're friends with Tom Shipley. Does he put on
Yeah,
DealCon or is he a part of
yeah,
that?
that's his.
Yeah, so like this, following just people like that. I mean, obviously, like he's knows what he's doing, and it's just like just seeing. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole nother. I mean, I ran like a small agency where I just had basically just kind of what you're saying, like just do it on your own and have the preferred vendors, and just kind of just I would mainly refer
Yeah.
people, and what I kind of my main experience was doing challenge funnels and
Uh-huh.
like knowing who did it with Pedro, and Pedro helped like Tony and Dean Graziosi, and like just knowing all the people who do really good challenge funnels and 5 day virtual
That's totally
events.
different
Yeah.
than home service businesses or
Yeah, for
personal
sure.
injury or chiropractor or real estate or any
Yeah, yeah.
category. Local
Exactly.
local is totally different than the e-com make money online. You can get 100,000 followers, challenge funnel. Those are
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah, they are different. So
Those are
that's kind
about
of
copy and generating attention and
mhm.
collaborating with other people that are well known. So I'll do a collab with Dan Henry and we'll co-market this thing together, which we've done,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, that's a different. So
That's totally different. Like, if you're trying to help a local plumber, if you're trying to help plumbers or roofers or whatever all across the US, it's a completely different strategy.
yeah. So what do you think? And then also with Kingdom Broker, I know I talked to you about that in the beginning. We raised 350,000 in equity, and that's what we kind of found this deal with a Swiss hedge fund. I'm
Mhm.
flying out to Switzerland tomorrow with some large investors that have a couple million in with us right now, and that want to do more. And so with Kingdom Broker, we it's funny. Cody Sanchez launched their own platform. That was exactly what we wanted to do, like a values based small business
Yeah,
platform for the
yeah,
$1 to $5 million deals. Anyways, it was just with AI and stuff. I just was like, I don't want to invest a lot in technology. Our investors also didn't want to, but they wanted to
yeah.
do deals.
Smart.
They
Don't
want
play
to
that
do,
game. Yeah, don't compete in AI. That's a bloody
yeah.
place.
It's just too much. So our investors were like, "Hey, we want to make some interest on our money," and then they're
Yeah,
like, "Hey, we do like the idea of buying some of these manufacturing or some of
yeah.
these small businesses." And so we're kind of in that space. We're like, let's just focus on that. And then
Why not? I mean, if you do home services, why not buy like the majority of these like plumbers and roofers and pest control and like they just go out of business. The owners age out and they can't pass it down to their children, so they just shut their doors so you can get them for almost nothing.
yeah,
Why don't you just do that and roll it up all day long? That's so easy.
yeah, that's what seems like the wisest, simplest like route is to
Because these
go.
people they want to exit their business. They're retiring. Their children don't want to take it on. They don't know the hassle of selling a business and all that. And you offer them, a fair price, but it's still a good deal. And
Hmm.
now you've got, two, three, four roofing companies or whatnot. And then by adding in marketing, because their website was broken and their LSAs were not even on, and all these things, Google Ads wasn't on, but they had good reviews and their crews were doing good work. And because of
Hmm.
that, that was the thing that kept their business going because of, you could buy those businesses all day
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
just fix
that's
them like Tommy Mello is doing this in garage, right? He's a $300
mhm,
million a year garage business, largely through acquisition because he raised the PE money. And now he's
mhm.
buying all of them and putting them under the A1 name. And now he's leveraging his central power of all
No,
marketing, right?
that was his brand was A1.
Yeah, it still is. His face is everywhere. His billboards, social media, his ads. He spends $40,000 a month on Facebook ads just for hiring technicians.
Wow.
He's one of my favorite coaching clients.
Wow. So you coach him in growing more of his marketing?
We have a lot of these guys that we call lighthouses. They're figureheads. They're
Mhm,
well known in each of their
mhm.
industries. So
Wow.
for me, it's Groundhog Day because I see the same thing every day, right? Same issue.
Yeah. Wow. That's
Be new for
beautiful.
you because you haven't made those mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good. Well, yeah, I don't want to keep you too long, but I appreciate it, Dennis, and definitely want to, yeah, see how we can work with you more. And right now we're just going to continue to do some of this dollar a day strategy, do what you've been telling us to do this whole time. And
Do dollar a day in such a way, not for social media. If you do it right and it
mhm,
drives high engagement and it brings people to your websites, that helps your SEO. Dollar a day is actually an SEO strategy. People don't know that. All these entrepreneurs we work with, if they do, if they make 1 minute videos, they dollar a day it out, that drives real engagement,
mhm.
that's seen by Google, and then they can claim their knowledge panel, they can rank better in maps, they can, all these things rank better in Google, right?
And then what about you said something about so that will help the dollar a day for my personal brand Eric Skeldon, but then what about for the company website or it isn't as big of a deal for your company website?
I'm talking about showing up better in Google for anything. It's
Hmm.
not a personal brand, get 100,000 followers, social media famous thing. It's an SEO thing for your
Yeah.
business, right? But a business's trust and credibility is the sum of the people. It's people that are just like you said, Russell Brunson with ClickFunnels. When Russell Brunson puts out good content or whatever, puts on conferences and webinars and all that, that helps ClickFunnels.
Yeah, that
That
makes
helps
sense.
the SEO of ClickFunnels too. If it gets turned into articles and people share that and they run ads against it and challenge funnels or, all that kind of stuff. But most
Got it.
people view personal brand as just for them to get more followers or some famous, look at their lifestyle and how much money they're making.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
But when
Yeah.
you elevate others and you share their successes and you share how you actually do stuff instead of putting everything behind a paywall, it builds your SEO, right? Because that's what Google wants to see, the signals and evidence of real
Mm.
trust.
So that you think that's the future too, is like the kind of build as you grow and just really show like for free, show almost everything you
Yeah,
can, you
I
know.
think it's been that way for the last 10 years.
I try to do some in the coaching consulting space and it just seemed like, I don't know, I just feel like part of me just like wants to build real businesses that make money and just
Yeah,
give everything away for free because that was what I was searching for the past 7 years was like real mentors who would like actually give me some advice or tell me something
yeah.
real. And then I ended up having to pay tens of thousands to people that barely still give you anything.
Right, right. That's the way that game is played. But I'm a big fan of put all your knowledge out there for free. Publish it on YouTube, the blogs, whatever it is, right? But charge for services, charge for your
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
You don't get that back. But I've made so many webinars and so many whatever. I've had videos that have had millions of views, and
Hmm.
I have people that will tell me or meet me in the airport or like yesterday I was in the mall or whatever, and someone came up to me saying, "Hey, 7 years ago I saw your video about whatever, and I'm running dollar a day." I'm like, "That's so awesome. I don't even know who you are, but okay, right." But put it out there for free, but don't give away your time,
Yeah.
right? That's how you balance it. The info product people, they try to sell everything because the info is their product. That is
There is.
everything, but they don't
That's the
actually
other
have a
thing.
service, right?
Yeah. And then for you, what would you say is the biggest thing, like as you've built just your all the marketing and the clients and stuff, like what has been, I mean, you're always giving and always serving and just like I just hear like stories of just yeah, even times you'll even take sometimes you even take time to help someone with something random.
Yeah.
But how do you balance that all and while still just focusing on landing large clients and stuff like you do?
I never focus at all on getting clients. We have no sales outreach. None of this, like, let's hop on a 15-minute call. Everything we've ever had has been inbound. They've come to us. Adidas came
The
to us.
problem.
Starbucks. Every one of them came to us because we had a reputation, right?
Hmm.
How do we get the Golden State Warriors? Because people say, "Oh, I'd really love to work with the sports team. Can you give me the Chicago Bulls? Can you make me an introduction to this particular sports team? Which, I saw you were having dinner with so and so. Can you introduce me?" I mean, maybe, but it's all because of the network, right? Like Kenny Lauer, before he became the head of marketing at the Warriors, I knew him at George P. Johnson 12 years before that. So I turned 50 a week ago.
Happy belated.
I mean, it sounds crazy, Eric, but it's everything I've had has been because of reputation and relationships.
Wow. So
And
as you
like I helped
get
you
turned
on this
40,
thing in Martin, right? Like I'm not
yeah.
charging for this. We're talking, right? I'm not charging for my time. But to answer your kind of earlier question, I try to make if there's ways where I can help and I can do something that adds a ton of value, you're going to remember that and tell everyone about it. So what are the things I can do that create the most amount of impact with the least amount of time? And I think things like helping these young adults grow local service agencies, that's easy, right? We know how to do that. I've done that myself, right? Or things to help people be more Googleable with like the knowledge graph and knowledge panels and all like that. There's a lot of nonsense in SEO, but ours is very practical. It's very measurable, right? I don't even like the word SEO. Like I like to do that, right? And in 8 minutes, we're doing a webinar for the Small Business Development Center. So a ton of small
Mhm.
businesses are going to come on, and I'm going to run them through that same process, right? And they're going to put it on replay on YouTube and all that, and all the other small businesses, because the SBA is a huge government agency, and
Oh, wow.
all these other small businesses are going to watch these videos, watching
Just for the
all,
SBA?
yeah, in 7 minutes.
Wow. The SBA is awesome. So you're helping you're doing a webinar in 7 minutes. Do you with the SBA, is there like what are the ways you see right now, even with the government where it's heading, like everyone's saying, even Kamala and Trump obviously for small businesses. Where
Sure.
do you see the best way to like actually empower small businesses and actually get that knowledge to them, the
You
small
take
business owners?
practitioners. and you have real programs. Put all the courses out there for free. Obama had a thing for community colleges, which, fell through because of bureaucracy. I thought that was a great idea. Google had some great ideas for certification, but everything was towards teaching people how to use Google Ads, which is unfortunate, right? But I believe that practitioners are the only ones that can lead other practitioners. Like if you've never done roofing, how are you going to help other people start roofing companies? Roger Wakefield was a plumber for 30 something years. He actually was a plumber before he became a plumber influencer YouTuber. He
Yeah.
actually was working on broken toilets and all clogged pipes and all. He actually was a plumber. I actually worked at a search engine. I built the analytics at a search engine 20 something years ago. I actually know something about that because all these other SEO people, how many of them have worked at a search engine and have any idea how this thing actually works versus they just talk a good game like you saw. The question you asked, how do we do this? Follow this principle called learn to teach. You learn from people who have done it as an apprentice. The old days of apprentices where you'd learn as a locksmith or blacksmith or like whatever, cobbler or a baker. You'd learn, a few years you apprentice at the place while under the tutelage of some guy who builds the cars or does the thing, right? And then when you've done it enough times, then you can open your own shop or you can, right? This is the way the world has always been until the MBA in America and this whole kind of thing. And only then are you qualified to teach other people how to do the thing unless you've done it yourself for many years, right? The trades is all about that, right? When you become a plumber, it takes 7 to 10 years to become a master plumber, right? Nowadays, people will watch a YouTube video and now say that they're an influencer. Great. So you did this webinar for 60 minutes and now you're an expert in whatever your thing is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dang.
If you claim to be an airline pilot because you watched a YouTube video, you played Microsoft Flight Simulator because it's so realistic now in 4K, I'm not going to hop on a plane. Like, Dennis, hop on. Eric, I've been training on the simulator on my laptop. Come fly on this plane with me. Would you get on that plane?
No.
No, because you want someone who went to flight school and actually got certified with American Airlines and, like this kind of thing, right? And I just think there's because of digital, it changes so fast and there's charlatans. It's so easy to avoid a clear standard. I believe there's a clear standard. Doesn't matter what the tool is. Google Ads, WordPress. That's why we have courses that have real standards. You have to be able to do the exercise. If you can't do the exercise, then you're not certified.
Dang. Definitely want to see. Also, Dennis, would love to see what would be the best. I know I was in some group for the $1 a day group, but just want to see what the best way I can, sew into a program to just be more, part of your guys' stuff as well.
I'd say let's make sure you and Kingdom Brokers are Googleable and have someone on your team, a VA, a young adult, go through the checklist so that way we can say, otherwise you'd be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Oh, I really like Dennis and the $1 a day thing. And then we come in and inspect. You haven't done the things.
You haven't done it. Yeah.
That would look bad. So I always love to see people when they're in this situation, they ask me this question. I say, okay, let's make sure you've done it appropriately. And then let's share your example with everyone else in your group. Because that way they can follow your example, not just, because Dennis says so. Who cares what Dennis says?
Yeah.
We've done it for roofers. Okay. We've done it for a lot of roofers. And we have lots of examples of roofers and they can follow what the other roofers. And then I'm here to sort of like evaluate and they like having me around just to, it's like a nice thing to have Dennis is also, you don't need Dennis to follow the checklist. The checklists are the checklists, right? You could have the founder of IKEA be there to assemble the furniture, but you can follow IKEA, you assemble the furniture, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think the hard, you're right. The hardest thing about anything is just like, even though it's like you need to do sit-ups and probably eat healthier and do some cardio, it's like doing the checklist. Like nobody wants to do the checklist,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Awesome, Dennis. Well, appreciate it. Go crush it on the SBA. And again, thank you for even, trying with Martin. We almost got him to send $500, but it's all good.
I've seen that situation enough times. These people generally, even if you say just send $100, they won't even do it, And then there's this whole thing. And who am I to say whether he was in a car accident or how many months he should be allowed to, every time there's a new excuse. And you know what I mean? It's like, have you ever lent people money and then they throw you down the loop of the never ending loop of all the excuses? And
I'm in another one in real estate. I gave like $3,100 to a guy that's supposed to get me a real estate deal so I can, buy a house that needed some work done in Orlando. And same thing happened. I'm just like, and it sucks because they're Christian people, friends, that somewhat have a reputation. And so I'm like, dude, what the heck is going on? Yeah, these people actually are supposed to have a reputation. But thank you, Dennis, for creating the standard. Blessings, brother.
You're the best, Eric. Talk soon.
Peace.